Hello all, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about a very important topic, and it is something which is very sensitive and as well as the need of the hour. So I'm going to talk about divorce. So divorce is something like taboo, especially in India. Even now we have that. But also it's because of the great emphasis what we have given on the institution of marriage, because of which this taboo stems from. So if you really read thoroughly about family laws and personal laws, you can understand the importance given in every religion for the sanctity of the marriage or the institution of the marriage, and it is very sacred. That's the reason why there has been a lot of taboos. So today I'm going to clear a lot of air about, especially related to divorce. Many people have this doubt, especially that when they are thinking about separation, legal separation from the spouse, and they are not able to take a stance because they have that fear about having to go to court and the questions, and they just don't like the entire environment of, I could say that, about like with the court, and especially with the questioning and grilling, and it's perfectly understandable. Every person will feel the same way, so don't think that you are overly sensitive or something like that. Every person do fear court, and because you are getting judged, so basically it's that. And if you feel that anybody is judging you, that's the last place you want to be in, right? Because you don't want to be associated as the bad one, or or the person who is causing harm to anyone. So you don't want to be that kind of person. That's the reason why they fear. And this is one of the most questions which we get, is that can we just get a divorce but we don't have to go to the court? So I'll come to that. So make sure that you stick to the very end of the video, because I'm going to explain in thorough what exactly it entails. See, first thing what you have to understand is that marriage is governed by personal laws in India. Okay, personal laws in the sense, if two Hindus marry, then it is governed by Hindu law. If two Muslims marry, then it's governed by Muhammadan law or the Muslim law, or even Shariat law. They have different laws, personal laws in that. And when the two Christians marry, they are governed by their own act, Christianity Act. So there are so many things which involves this. But what happens is, like when the game changer thing happens, is when two inter-religion or interfaith people get married, then they come under Special Marriages Act. Okay, so these are the acts which govern the institution of the marriage. Now let's come to the separation, or legal separation, or you can say divorce. That's a very common word for that, but in legal term it is legal separation of the marriage. So here also personal law applies, and there has been a lot of changes recently, especially with the personal law. Earlier, adultery or having an affair was a punishable offense, so a person could go to jail actually if they were caught having an affair. Now it's a legal ground for divorce. Actually, it's not a punishable offense to be adulterous, even though it's morally punishable, but legally it's not punishable like now. And one of the easiest ways to get a divorce is through mutual consent. So 99% of the time when a couple go through mutual consent divorce, they don't have to go to the court. Okay. So usually the attorneys will do all the paperwork and all the legal work for it. And when I say it's 99%, there are exceptions. 1% exception will be there, especially if the court has reasonable grounds of suspicion, especially on any grounds on the couple, then yes, they might call them to the court, because it's actually a protection of law in one way, because many a times what happens is that it's when we don't know the things, when the things are under the veil, it is very easy that a person could be mistreated, or there are many grounds for it. That's the reason why, if there is no suspicion, if it's a very open and clear kind of divorce, then yes, for mutual consent you don't have to go to the court. So one of the prime requirement for this is that the marriage should have been existed for at least 6 months. Okay, so before that, if you apply for the divorce, it is not going to hold grounds for it. And second thing is that the both spouses have to agree for the mutual consent, and in the sense both of them agree to divorce. That is when you don't, it's a very clean divorce, there won't be any courtroom or legal drama. Issue will crop up only when one person agrees and other person doesn't agree. Then we have to find other ways, other reasons of giving the divorce. Otherwise it's a very fair square game in this. And recently what happened is that, since the reason why I made this video, there's a reason for it. Many people don't know this. Okay, though many people don't know that for mutual consent divorce, you don't have to go to the court. There won't be, it's going to be a minimal interaction actually in case of mutual consent. This aspect of law many people don't know, and recently we found out through a lot of case, and one of the cases which came to Chennai High Court is that the religious leaders, so in case of Muslim law, Mohammedan law, the religious leader would give divorce certificates. Okay, so now it is as per law it is made as invalid. It's not valid to get a divorce certificate from a religious leader. You should get it from the court, not through any religious leader. And you might be thinking, why are they doing like this? Why they're subjecting one community on this? There many questions might arise in this. Let me explain why we have to do that. First things first, what we have to understand is that judicial review is an integral part of constitution, in the sense when anything, even our legislature, even when act is passed, it is subjected to judicial review. That means a court has that suo moto cognizance, that is like they can take up that cognizance where they can investigate and they can tell, hey, please give the order. Recently we saw that in, especially with the metro project, when one of the beams fell on somebody and it resulted in a death of 2 persons, and in that time the High Court of Karnataka took the suo moto cognizance, saying that, hey, please tell me what is wrong and who did wrong where. Okay, so there was no PIL, nothing, there was no public interest litigation, nothing was filed. It was a suo moto cognizance. Court themselves thought that we should investigate this matter. Same way, the suo moto cognizance is taken by the court whenever it's necessary. Okay, even in case of constitution also, whenever MLA is making some law which is violating the fundamental rights or the basic structure of the constitution, then the court takes up and asks, like, why are you doing this? Or even violation of human rights. Same thing is applied for this also, especially with the Muslim law, where religious leaders cannot be questioned, right? Usually whenever they give, on what basis are they following, what law are they following, and how is the court proceedings conducted. See, usually in court proceedings what has happened is everything is documented, gets documented, each and every argument, each and every judgment, and it is something which can be traced back. In a sense, after 10 years also, you can go back to that case and you can see what happened in that case. There will be completely detailed structure of what was going on in that case. That level of documentation cannot be maintained by any religious institution. Even if we say that yes, we are going to maintain, let's assume that they are going to say no, we are very good at documentation, we are going to maintain documentation. Okay, the second point is, fine, documentation is right, but what about the arbitrariness? What do you mean by arbitrariness? Arbitrariness means, in law what happens is, if there is a law that's applicable for everyone, okay, it's not like one person gets applied to something, another person, because you just imagine this, that your teacher is giving chocolates to everyone except you, how will you feel, right? Same way, law is also like that only. In case of religious laws, what happens is, since the religious head is taking the decision, he might excuse arbitrariness, because you cannot, there won't be another person who is overseeing all his actions. But in judge things, it's not like that. In judiciary, lower courts are governed by high courts High courts are governed by Supreme Court, and Supreme Court is governed by us people actually, because we have that right. We can go directly to the Supreme Court and approach, even though the process is tedious, but we can still do it. We can through writ jurisdiction or through PILs, we can go and question the courts also. We have that right. Do we have the same right in case of religious heads is the question. Okay, that's something, just think about it. So that's the reason why actually they told that no, divorce certificates need to be issued with the court only, otherwise it cannot be held as valid. Because of primary reasons of one, documentation, and second is there's no communication also. No, whenever some religious head takes any legal decision, he or she will not communicate that to the courts. How will they know if these people got divorced or if they're staying together, right? And also second thing is, very easily people can cook up evidences saying that, hey, no, by the way, she doesn't know, the wife doesn't know, but I divorced her long back, she's just staying with me. It can happen also, no? So all these issues could crop up. That's the reason why the Chennai High Court took the decision in the recent case study, where they said that no, if whatever might be your religious stance, you have to get a formal divorce from the court. Only then it's acceptable. Otherwise, whatever documents you have, no. So this is one of the reasons why when I was researching this case, I found out why people are favoring this kind of divorces. It's because like naturally people are shy and they don't want to go to a court. They don't want to go through the drama and all that, and it's a hassle. I agree. And in fact, there's a detailed study done actually in law. We read a lot of books and studies about victimization and victim psychology, and a lot of like what a person goes through, especially in the legal process. So there's a lot of studies done in that. So that is something which everybody understands, and even advocates and judges are aware of this. It's not that it's not aware, but the process is there for a reason. Now, in fact, I feel that there has been a lot of reform, especially in case of sensitive matters. There has been a lot of reforms in the way the victim is approached, or even the questioning done by the advocates. Everything has become very refined and more people friendly, rather than doing anything to win a case. Rather than that approach, more people are getting humanitarian, and there is like lot more lenience, or even I wouldn't say lenience is the correct word, more of a sensitiveness to the issue is there. So, but exactly this was the topic which I wanted to talk about, because many people don't know that mutual consent involves very less court interaction, very minimal I would say. And even if for other reasons also, if you find the correct advocate, there will be very less interaction also. And another thing what I would say is, be open to your advocate or lawyer to tell what are you looking for, So if you don't want too much of court interactions or something, talk to that person and try to see if they can reduce the court time, and be open with it, because many people will not know that you don't like being questioned or grilled or being in the court. If the advocate doesn't know, then the advocate will not be able to help you. Okay, so make sure that you are aware of that, and be open and be transparent with your preferences. And mutual consent is one more thing. Yes, I know mutual consent is very difficult, because having both husband and wife in the same page as that where they both want the divorce is very rare. I mean, not rare, but it's unlikely, but it happens nowadays. It's happening because of lot of maturity in the people. But in case of other scenarios also, if you fear the court process or court interactions, then you have to be open and transparent with your advocate, so that the advocate will reduce that interactions for you. Using many means are there. I cannot cover all of the means in one video, so that's the reason why I'm telling you that this is the basic nutshell what you need to know. And the process of mutual consent divorce is pretty much seamless, and especially if there is not much about compensation and those kind of custodial issues, if there is any kids, then it's a pretty seamless, straight method, and not much court interaction is required for this. I hope you're clear with the concept, and until my next video, please be safe and have a nice day.